Russian leaders don't appear to be the greatest fathers in history. Some killed their sons, some bullied their sons, and some wasn't even involved in their son's life. Today I'm going to talk about that. Starting with the most infamous example, the first Tsar of all Russia, Ivan IV Vasilievich, perhaps best known by the moniker Ivan the Terrible. Don't let the title of the video fool you. Ivan was actually pretty tight with his son and heir, Ivan Ivanovich. Ivan took Ivan Ivanovich to see the massacre in Novgorod. Come on, that's real father and son bond and stuff. One time, Tsar Ivan was offered a woman to be his new wife. But then he was like, you know what? I think my son would like you better. So then they married. But because of how she was seemingly infertile, they divorced. Then that happened again. Then Ivan Ivanovich is then married to Yelena Shermenteva, and then she becomes pregnant, so all is well. Oh, never mind, that's when everything turns to shit. Legend says, on November 1581, Tsar Ivan found his daughter-in-law lounging in clothing that he considered to be inappropriate. So then this happened. Just gonna go and annoy my daughter-in-law because I have nothing better to do. Oh, hey, Yelena. Oh, it's my creepy father-in-law. Hello, Tsar Ivan. What are you wearing? Clothes. Those are very inappropriate. You're pregnant. I'm relaxing. I don't see what's the problem. You want me a smartass? I didn't do anything. Raising your voice? I will beat the fuck out of you right here, right now. Take a chill pill. Are you good? Wait, relax. Get the fuck away. Ow! Leave me alone, please.
And he shall smite the wicked and plunge them into the fiery pit.
Dad! Why did the ominous music stop? Oh, son! I love you, son! What the fuck are you doing to my wife? Well, she was being a bitch, so I had to, undo the bitchiness by beating the fuck out of her. She's pregnant! And that can harm the baby! Oh, that's the problem. You can always make another one. No, you fucking dad, why are you being such a fucking dumbass? You're making me angry right now, Ivan, and I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate you beating my wife, but you don't give a fuck about that. Because I don't see why. Dad, you are a fucking idiot. You are a slimy piece of shit. If I knocked on your head, it'd be fucking hollow. A few years back, the head of your secret police was Moryuta Skuratov. But Moryuta was a nice guy. He was one of my best friends. Moryuta Skuratov was the same dude who rounded up married women and had them evil snuggled for his own entertainment. You're pissing me off right now, Ivan. No, you're pissing me off, Ivan. You call me by my first name. Dad, put the scepter down. We can talk about this. Blur. Yeah, this was all about I'm Ivan, no fucks with me. I'm Ivan the Terrible. Alright, kid, get up. I hate you real good there, now get the fuck up. Son? Oh shit! I killed my son! Oh fuck no! So that's what allegedly happened. Then Yelena had a miscarriage, which means Ivan killed his grandchild and his son in one go. Allegedly. So due to this now meant that Ivan's heir was his younger son, the politically ineffective and possibly mentally disabled Fyodor. And now our next dad that we're going to be talking about also killed a son. Ironically, his moniker is the complete opposite of Ivan's, and that is Peter the Great. Peter the Great had a turbulent relationship with his son Alexei. When Alexei was a child, Peter was more concerned with state affairs and boinking mistresses. So Alexei's mother primarily raised him. Peter and Alexei would frequently clash over different political views. One day Peter does something that goes along the lines of, "Hey man, you're lame. I don't think you should be heir anymore." Then Alexei is like, I think I'm lame too. Maybe I don't want to be your heir anymore. Later on, Peter wrote to Alexei. He wrote to him something like this, "Hey man, you want to be heir? Come back home, bro." However, Alexei kinda didn't want to face his father, so then he fled to Austria. Then after some wacky stuff, Peter and Alexei are in talks for Alexei to come back to Russia. Alexei said, "Hey, I'll only go back to Russia if you let me marry my mistress and you pardon me and let me live out the rest of my life, simple and quietly." Then Peter said, "Sure thing, son." When Alexei returned, his dad had him tortured because Peter thought that Alexei was some part of grand conspiracy scheme to overthrow him, or some shit like that. Alexei was convicted and sentenced to be executed. However, Peter hesitated, so then Alexei died in prison. It is widely believed that Alexei died from the injuries he sustained after Peter ordered him to be tortured. Our next dad is the last Tsar on this list. He was the penultimate Tsar of Russia. I am of course talking about Tsar Alexander III. Tsar Alexander III was a man's man. I'm talking like he was 6'3". He could rip packs of playing cards. He could twist forks into knots. Legend says that during the Borky train disaster in 1888, Tsar Alexander III held up a collapsed roof of a train car to help his family escape. So who could his heir be? Surely a much more impressive physical specimen, right? Well, without further ado, introducing 6'5", 400 pounds of pure muscle with an 8-pack, Tsar Nicholas. Oh, I actually meant 5'7", Tsar Nicholas II, who had no business being Tsar, and he knew it. Tsar Alexander III was fearful of Nicholas being an ineffective Tsar because he was naive and stupid. He used to talk about Nicholas to his friend named Sergei Witt. Tsar Alexander, "What, Sergei? Don't you think you should start training Nicholas and stuff? I have an idea. How about he participates in the Trans-Siberian Committee?"
Sergei, have you ever tried to discuss anything of consequence with His Imperial Highness the Grand Duke? Don't tell me you never noticed the Grand Duke is an absolute child. His opinions are utterly childish. How could he proceed over such a community?
Why the fuck do you speak in a poor imitation of a Russian accent? Apparently, Alexander III was worried that Nicholas had no experience with women and arranged for a Polish ballerina to become his son's mistress, and he could not tolerate weakness. When Nicholas was a child, he was playing with a kid who made a mistake, but Nicholas took the blame for it. So then this happened.
Hey Dad, I did that. I don't know why I did, but I did that.
No, you didn't.
But I did.
No, you didn't. Taking the blame for something you didn't do, that makes you a girl.
What?
You have no dick, you only have coochie. So it was clear that Tsar Alexander III did not really feel like Nicholas was mature enough to take on political responsibilities. And since by this point he was in his 40s, everyone thought he was going to live long and prosper. So Alexander thought he could just fuck around and wait a while before he starts training Nicholas to be Tsar. But Sergei Witt thought differently. So something like this happened. "Hey Alexander, shouldn't you start training Nicholas soon?" "Nyet. He is still a child, Sergei. Look at him. Let's give him a little bit to mature." "But Alexander, you're not gonna live forever." "I know that, Sergei. No one lives forever." "But Alexander." "But I'm not dying until 30 years from now." "Alexander, if Nicholas is never introduced to state affairs, then he'll never be ready to understand them." "Don't worry, Sergei. Everything is gonna happen as planned." But in fact, everything did not happen as planned. In 1894, Alexander became ill with terminal kidney disease. Even by the end of his life, he still considered Nicholas a child. Something like this happened.
Dad, you're dying.
"Nicholas, you're still a child. I can't imagine you as a fiancé. How strange and unusual." On November 1st, 1894, Tsar Alexander III died at the age of 49. In his wife's arms. How romantic. So a totally unprepared Nicholas succeeds him, and we all know how that turns out. Well, our next dad on this list was not Russian. He was Georgian. but no one honestly gives a fuck. I'm of course talking about Joseph Zugashvili, better known as Joseph Stalin. Quick backstory. Yosef met this woman, and then they got married and had a kid named Yakov. 9 months later, she dies. Then Yosef left Yakov to be raised by his mother's relatives. A few years later, Yosef, now going by the name Stalin, returns and takes Yakov. It was hard for Yakov, as he did not speak or understand Russian, and Stalin did not like him. It is unclear why Stalin was hostile to Yakov, but many believe it's because of how Yakov reminded Stalin of his first wife, one of the more happier times in his life. So, when he was like a teenager, Yakov met a girl and he wanted to marry her. He really liked her. So then this happened. Hey dad, I met a really hot girl. Can I marry? No. What? Why not? I said no. After Stalin rejected the marriage proposal, Yakov intentionally did something with the pew-pew that narrowly missed his heart. After Yakov did that, Stalin apparently remarked, "He can't even shoot straight." In June 1941, some evil Germans pulled up and they captured Yakov, the Nazi. Well, no, because this is educational, so yeah, it's necessary to say it. So Yakov was captured by Der Führer's goons, the Nazis. 2 years later, in 1943, Yakov died. He was either shot by the prison guards or he ran into an electrical fence. It was conceivable he did the latter given his certain tendencies in his youth. After hearing that Yakov died, Stalin said he was a real man and fate treated him unjustly. We've come a long way, but wait, there's more. Our last dad on this list is Yuri Andropov. So, around 1935, Yuri Andropov gets married, and then about 5 years later, they already have 2 kids. That's nice. A daughter and a son. So, it's 1940, and Andropov is about to get a fresh new job promotion, but he has to move. So then this happens. Hey, precious moistures, pumpkin, wumpkin, pookie, wookie, sugar bear. I got a new job, so we have to move. You coming? No. Well then fuck you, bitch. So Andropov leaves, he divorces his wife, and then gets a fancy new job where he meets his second wife. He then later has 2 new kids with his new wife. You might not be asking yourself, how does this make him a bad dad? What happened? Well, going back to his first 2 children, he had a daughter and a son. His son was named Vladimir, and Vladimir grows up to be a criminal alkie. He got arrested a bunch for stealing shit, and Andropov knew it. So you see, Andropov kind of thought that Vladimir was a lame embarrassment. It wouldn't look good for the big bad boss of the KGB to have some alky piece of shit son. So Andropov tried to make sure that his political buddies did not know about his son. It's 1975. How's Vladimir doing? He hopefully turned his life around. Oh no, he's actually terminally ill. Vladimir at least wished to have seen his father before he died. I assume he wanted to say this.
You ruined my life. How could I ruin your life? I wasn't even there.
Andropov apparently knew that Vladimir was terminally ill, dying, and probably wanted to see him, but he did not give a fuck. After Vladimir died, Andropov did not even go to his funeral. The end. That's the end of the story. How'd you like it, kids? You fucking suck. How about you go eat a dick or something? Ungrateful piece of shit. Don't know real fucking talent.
Subscribe. Subscribe. Flirtin' doo 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 doo.